This is my daughter, Indiana. Indiana was just beginning year 10 in high school. She was a dedicated student. She loved playing and was extremely talented at all sports. Indiana loved her family. She had a huge love for all animals. She loved the outdoors and was extremely passionate about her Indigenous culture.
Joseph was 19, caring, loving, everything you would want in a child. He didn't do drugs. He was a working boy, doing what normal teenage boys do. I have 7 boys and 2 girls. Joseph was the 4th. They all idolise each other.
Skylar was 16 when she took her own life. She was in year 12. She'd just finished studying her school-based traineeship in aged care, which she absolutely loved. She was the most kind, caring, empathetic person I've ever met. She was always there for her friends who had problems.
My daughter's name is Libby Page Bell, and she is a bright, bubbly, beautiful, forever 13-year-old who had so many hopes and dreams. She loved life and everything it had to offer her. She was the glue that kept our family motivated to get outside and try new things and enjoying nature along the way.
My daughter Chloe will forever be 13 years old. Chloe had a bright future ahead of her, and she just started year 7 in high school. Chloe's biggest passion in this world was animals, and especially her beautiful horse Ace, who she loved and adored, and I can't believe she left him, let alone her family and friends. And Chloe was there for everyone.
Josh was 17. He had a heart of gold and lived with autism spectrum disorder. Josh was a few months into a painting apprenticeship and a couple of months out from his 18th birthday. He was always the one who counselled others who were in a bad place.
Daniel was 18. He suffered with anxiety from a very young age. He was such a beautiful boy. He's the eldest of our 5 sons. He had a heart of gold. He had a strong sense of justice. He would stand up for anyone who wasn't able to stand up for themselves.
Taylor was 16 years old. She was in grade 12. She was a highly academic student. She wanted to join the Defence Force. She was an avid book reader with over 300 books in her collection.
Daniel was 17. He was the middle of 3 boys. He loved reading fantasy novels and playing the drums and guitar. He was a natural musician, although he didn't think so. He was fairly shy and sensitive, but tried hard to mask this as he tried to fit in with the crowd.
Clea was almost 15 when she decided to take her own life. She was the eldest of 3 daughters. Clea was our princess. She was smart and funny and kind and creative, and she was the best big sister.
Cody was 14, a beautiful soul, outgoing. He did have a lot of friends, made a lot of wrong choices down at the skate park with them, but he was very proud of his friends and always stick up for his friends. He wanted to go to the army. He was very proud of serving for Australia.
Stella was 16 years old. She's left behind myself, my husband, 3 sisters who adored her and extended family. She was diagnosed with ASD and has suffered serious mental health issues her whole life.
Our lives are forever broken.
We as a family are so broken, it's devastated us. We don't know what to do.
Our lives have now been ripped apart, and we're just lost without her.
It's just devastated us all.
Not one day has been easy, and not one day has gone by that we don't crumble in her absence.
I have 8 other children that I have to look out for now, that statistically they say I have another chance of somebody else in our immediate family doing the same thing.
13 is way too young. This world is a much sadder place without her.
We take each day hour by hour, minute by minute, breath by breath.
Claire had been suffering from severe depression and had been picked on by kids at her school for this reason.
Unfortunately, Libs was the target of relentless bullying leading up to her passing.
She couldn't stand going to school anymore. She couldn't tell us why, and she wouldn't tell us why.
I spoke with the school numerous times and my concerns were not taken seriously.
I rang the police to do a welfare check. They told me my baby was fine, and 24 hours later, he was gone.
To this day, we still don't have answers as to why.
We tried getting him help, but due to insufficient places that would apparently help him, they were never consistent with the care that they gave him, which he then rejected.
Dan didn't want to engage, and I was advised that unless he did, there wasn't much they could do unless he was suicidal at that very time.
I phoned her counsellor and told her that she wanted to go to hospital as she wasn't feeling in a safe place. The safe place had quite a significance because it was part of our suicide safety plan. Nothing was done.
During multiple visits, we were told Indiana was just an angry teenager. Both Indiana and I were crying out for someone, anyone, to listen and to help her, and the mental health system failed my daughter.
They've failed a lot of our children.
When you know that something's not right with your baby, if we as mums or dads or anybody thinks that something's not right, that we're heard, that we're listened, we're not just told we're overreacting.
We need much more proactive support for young people with autism. We need help through schools, through work placement, and through mental health services.
A big part is the high turnover of staff in our mental health facilities. We need them to keep staff in the facilities for longer periods rather than for 6 months.
When they've been abused by abusers and stuff, they get silenced in themselves and they can't open up, and there needs to be more support for parents and not be looked down on.
There are no services available that sit between the 10 Medicare-funded psychologist visits and critical care. This needs to change.
I have spent the last 20 months trying to fight to have Libby's law passed to enforce the criminal punishment towards those that choose to bully and include online protection. We need to help support our young, vulnerable children, and the government needs to support us.
Because lives matter. These kids' lives matter.